Back in dental school, I wasn't interested in dating, not because I didn't want to, but because everyone around me was dating casually. I'm a very emotional person, and I knew that if I got attached to someone, I'd be miserable if things didn't work out. So I chose to stay away from relationships. At that point, I hadn't dated a single guy. I know that might sound strange to some, but I was hopeless romantic who hadn't found the right person yet. I looked pretty ordinary, but I was one of the taller girls in my class. As part of our community medicine curriculum, third-year dental students and second-year med students were grouped together for community visits. During one of these visits, I met a guy named Kevin who quickly developed a crush on me and openly confessed his feelings. However, he was a bit shorter than me, and as a dental student, I naturally had a preference for well-aligned teeth, but his front teeth were slightly crooked, so I told him I wasn't interested. His friend, Sam, however, started developing feelings for me. He kept asking me for small things, like borrowing the pen or sharing instruments, even though he already had them. I was very serious about my studies, but Sam and his friends were the type to fool around, smoke cigarettes, and avoid doing the work assigned to them. Somehow I ended up doing their work because it was a group project and I didn't want our overall performance to suffer. Unfortunately, Sam mistook my willingness to help, a sign that I liked him. Sam wasn't exceptionally good looking, but he was tall and he had these doe-like eyes. He even told my classmates that he liked me. Later, I started receiving multiple calls from an unknown number. At the time, there were many news reports about phone scams, so I ignored them. Eventually, I realized it was Sam. He had gotten my number from my classmates. One day, he asked me out. I found it interesting, and since I had started to see him as somewhat attractive, I agreed. We began dating. He would pick me up, and we'd meet before and after classes. He dropped me near my home, and for the first time, I was experiencing the excitement of being in a relationship. He was sweet, caring, and affectionate. We had cute pet names for each other. I would buy him Snickers chocolate because he loved them, and he would eat the yellow part of my eggs because I didn't like the texture. Everything was going well. I was excelling in my studies, and we were happy together. We took pictures on my phone, which he would later transfer to his. I even helped him with gas money for his car. He started calling me wifey, and although I didn't have a specific pet name for him, I called him babe. He would get jealous if I talked to other guys, and honestly, I felt the same way. It seemed like he was the one. But another thing, he was a great kisser. Maybe it was because it was my first time, but I genuinely thought he was amazing at it. I even wrote him my first love letter, which he always kept in his wallet. I helped him with his studies, wrote class notes for him, and his grades started improving. We had lunch together every day in the cafeteria. It was our spot. And after nearly 3 years of dating, COVID happened. We were stuck in our homes, and the only way to communicate was through Facebook and video calls. At first, everything seemed fine, but then he started getting distant. His replies became late, and our usual good morning and good night text stopped. He always had excuses. I thought maybe it was just the stress of the long-distance situation, but soon he started disappearing for days. When college reopened, I finally got to meet him again after months. I was so happy. The moment I touched his hand, I felt an electric spark, but he still seemed distant. I kept asking him if something was wrong, but he brushed it off, saying I was overreacting. Then the rumors started. People were saying he was seeing someone else. At first, I refused to believe it. I trusted him more than anyone. But then, reality hit me like a trap. Every day, he would pick me up, drop me at university, go to class, then pick me up after class and drop me home. But in his dorm, he was secretly dating junior med school student. My entire world shattered. We had even planned our baby names together. I know it sounds silly, but it was my first relationship, and I truly believed we had a future. Then I discovered even worse things. He had a secret Snapchat account and was dating multiple girls behind my back. He used to ask for my phone to transfer our pictures, but in reality he was also checking my messages if I was cheating on him or not. I was completely oblivious. Eventually he refused to meet me at all. My finals were approaching, and I was already under so much stress. Then one day he told me he didn't love me anymore. He loved someone else, and the worst part, he confessed that he never really loved me in the first place. Apparently he and Kevin had made a bet during our community visit. Whoever won me over first would win, and a loser had to buy the winner the chicken dinner, which was in reference to the gang PUBG. I was nothing but a gang to them. Even after winning the bet, he decided to stay with me for 3 years because I was the good student and loyal girlfriend, which meant I helped him study and improve his grades. Plus, since I was a class topper and involved in many extracurricular activities, dating me brought him a lot of attention. But now, he no longer found our relationship worth it because he was almost done with med school and had found someone else with better curves and big boobs. I was miserable for almost a year. He and his new girlfriend started eating lunch at the same spot where we used to eat. I couldn't bear the sight, so I started eating heavy breakfast and skipping lunch just to avoid seeing them. I used to call him Potato because I thought he was cute like one. After our breakup, I couldn't even eat potatoes. Coming from an Orthodox family, I couldn't explain to my parents why I was sad all the time, why my eyes were always puffy in the mornings, or why I had suddenly lost my appetite for potatoes. Now I'm over him, but sometimes I still wonder how different my life would have been if he had truly been the person he pretended to be. I blocked him on everything. No contact at all. The funny thing is, he told all his friends, except Kevin, that I was the one who cheated on him during COVID. Can you imagine? After 3 years of separation, I'm finally over him, but I know I have trust issues now. He once sent me requests on Instagram. I asked, "What do you want from me? I'm finally happy in my life. Please stop texting me." His response, "Okay, sorry." But that sorry wasn't even as band-aid for the 3 years of self-doubt and self-sabotage he put me through. So that's my story. I hope you liked it. Please feel free to comment your horrible dating stories. Thanks for watching.